as good on the live. I'm gonna change the name. Is it? I think it's 57.
Yeah.
It's something. It's something like that.
50 something, 6'7". That's what all the kids are saying these days. Did you know that?
Oh my God. When I was training and I was going over all the tables, I was on the roof and I'm like, all right, so this is C5 and then 6'7". I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh, okay.
I can't get rid of it. We can't get away.
All right. So Celina. Oh wait, I guess we typically do just give you a quick rundown, but
we're
just
live.
We're live. Yeah, we're live already. It's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna have some fun.
I'm like, all right.
Oh,
now I just clicked onto the live, so it was replaying the live, or like.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna talk about you. Your journey in life, and obviously we do a lot of relationship conversation with you as a freshly married woman. You can talk about your journey, kind of upon getting up here, and then kind of also with your profession.
Yeah, and your job. I'm sure that's
and how that kind of plays a role in all
very
these
interesting.
things.
Yeah, but we got about 45 minutes now because I have a Friendsgiving to go to. I have made my yearly.
Brandon apparently has friends.
My yearly friendship appearance.
We learn something new every
That's
day.
a good thing.
My yearly. Yeah, your camera is kind of lagging. I'm not sure if that's.
It'll typically because the live isn't 100% live. It'll be a few seconds behind, so it should be able to.
It'll still be fine.
Yeah, it should still be clear.
All right, if not, whatever will be good. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. And then when we go to wrap it up, we'll just say to wrap things up. Simple as enough. Simple enough. 1 and 2. We good to go?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. You already know it's had 2 minutes.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast with Mr. Cleon Deal.
Happy to be here.
What up, what up, what up?
How we doing?
And myself, we are back for another week.
Another week, baby.
And we have today a very special guest with us. And I will let Mr. Deal do the honors of introducing our special guest.
Yes, today. So we have a very special guest, a young lady by the name of now Celina Knight. So clap it up for her, formerly Celina Deal. So why is this special? Celina happens to be I guess I'm her twin brother. She was first.
Oh,
I guess that's how that works.
Yes.
You guys can determine if you think we look alike or not. The jury's still out. It really just depends on who you ask.
I forgot you guys. Yeah, you said that you guys are twins. I wouldn't have guessed that.
How are you doing, Celina? Thank you so much for joining us today. How's everything?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the Chicago gear on your end.
Oh, yeah, you saw that?
Cleon, I don't know what do you go by? What do you go by on here? Am I calling you CJ? Am I calling you Cleon?
Oh, CJ's crazy. We never heard that one.
Well, when my mom was here, she did.
Uh-oh.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever feels comfortable and natural for you.
We got to start calling you CJ.
We's a lot of people.
CJ it is.
I'm going to get a lot of people to start doing it. Don't worry. Hey, no. Don't call him Cleon no more. It's CJ.
Yeah, nobody in Florida calls me CJ. So
I've never heard. I guess maybe I wasn't paying attention when your mom said it.
Well, yeah, you need to tighten up.
Or my short-term memory loss.
Well, that's the CTE.
Yeah. There's a lot of things.
You have CTE?
Who knows what I got, but it's probably something CTE, ADHD,
oh gosh, okay. all the letters.
Anything that's wrong with the brain, I probably got it.
Okay, we're praying for him.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
So
go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I want to kind of we're going to go into a few things here. Obviously, for you, we want to get a little bit about you, Miss Celina Knight, as someone who's in her profession, college graduate, ebbs and flows of life and things of that nature. So just kind of talk to us, number one, a little bit about your background, kind of what you do, and kind of, what's going on in life right now.
Okay, what is my background? Well, I graduated from a seminary, Moody Theological Seminary, with my master's in clinical mental health counseling. That was a 3-year program. Had to write a thesis. That was the bane of my existence. So I feel like I have to mention that. I am now fully licensed. So I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor here in Chicago. I work at a private practice downtown in Chicago. I commute by bus and sometimes train.
Oh wait, what?
And
All the
last
time?
week,
I mean,
last week,
Chicago is better to commute that way versus.
I thought you were still driving.
yeah. And last week, in 30-degree weather, not the jam, but
yeah, but it's cold on them trains.
that is just the tip of the iceberg. That's about it about like my credentials. What's going on in life? I'm getting adjusted to being married. I think it's about 9 months now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you. TJ was at my wedding. That was a wedding indeed. We don't have to talk about it.
I saw some
It
videos.
was
I saw
a
some videos.
wedding.
It looked like a lot of fun.
Yes. It was a wedding.
It was a wedding.
Was it everything you dreamed of?
Good question. I don't think I personally, and Jeff is my husband, we wanted something really small and intimate, which this was already small, but we were thinking more like parents and maybe have a bigger wedding later. But with the convincing of some friends, we came up with what you saw and what you came to, which it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Just the logistics were lagging quite a bit. So was it everything I dreamed for? Not really. But grateful for the memories of it, I think, is where I'm trying to land with it. And maybe, if we renew our vows or something, we'll have something a little bit more efficient.
Well, it was in Chicago, though, right?
But
correct.
Yeah, the parking up there is not the best.
Well, the parking wasn't the logistics that she was referring to.
Yeah, no, we wish. I was ready. The wedding was late for me.
Oh, they had to do another like quick ceremony before you guys or something.
No, so this was
no.
Actually so Brandon doesn't really have any context on the wedding, so he doesn't really know kind of where it happened, how it happened. So
okay, so I was living in a home with a roommate. We were renting from this well-off family who has moved to Chicago. So it's a really big house. And so we basically transformed the living room to be where the wedding took place. And it was like a circle stage in the middle, and then our family around in a circle, flowers everywhere. There's a flower chandelier. It was beautiful. So that's where it took place, at the home. So that necessarily wasn't the problem. That was beautiful. It was just the planning, and apparently before, it was a new company who was planning it, who are close friends of mine. And so we were the guinea pigs, and that's okay. That's okay. We knew we were the guinea pigs, so that's okay. But the chandelier. Wait, say again?
I said guinea pigs and done at the home. That already screams problem. And then Mama deals with it.
Mom.
Yeah, it was a lot. The chandelier fell apparently, so I was in my dress probably for an hour longer than I needed to be. And you all never put on a wedding dress before, I'm assuming, but it's quite tight. Hey, whatever you do in your spare time, but yeah, so Brandon, it's okay. It's already up. So it was just a lot of logistics. And then what else, CJ? What else happened that was like?
Okay, so during the wedding, so there was a camera crew. By camera crew, I mean a young lady with an iPad, who was holding the iPad.
No. The camera broke. Apparently, the camera equipment was not working. Like, we were told there was going to be like a camera on a pod that moves to movement and that they'll be behind. But when I walked out, I didn't know that things changed. So when I walked out, I'm seeing her with the iPad. And I'm just like, what is that? And
Where's the real one?
Yeah, so that was being live streamed to YouTube, where all the rest of the friends and family were watching on this iPad that this young lady was kind of carrying around, trying to get shots of. Because I was also confused looking at the camera equipment, and I was like, "Why aren't we using that?"
Mm-hmm. That's pretty interesting.
In addition, I think also someone kicked one of the candles over. That was
the
in
girl with
the
the iPad.
Yes, the girl with the iPad kicked it over. I picked it up, a quick save.
So it didn't burn down the house on the wedding day.
Yeah. Thankfully, nothing burned down.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, a few bumps in the road, but nonetheless a lovely ceremony.
You
Yes.
always hear in church when people get married that that first year is the hardest because the devil tries to attack marriages very bad. So it just seems like he was maybe trying to attack
start at the wedding.
He's trying to start right at the conception of the wedding right there.
It's interesting because for us, I don't know, like I said, Celina, I don't really know if you ever had like a dream wedding or anything like that, but I know that for us, when it comes to things like that, we've never really been, at least me, I know we've never really been big on like ceremonies and how kind of those things
Right.
typically play out.
Yeah, I could see you not
Right.
being big on ceremonies.
Brandon thinks I'm emotionless.
Some days, most days.
We should talk about that, but yeah, we should
Let's talk about that.
No,
Yeah,
we're not. We're
Is
here to
he
talk.
emotional?
We're here to talk about her today.
Oh.
We can talk about me on a later date.
bring me back on when we're talking about you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, we can talk whatever we want to talk about. You got the floor, so if that's where you want to take it, that's where we'll go. Everything's up to you today.
Well, we'll see.
Okay. So for you, obviously going through, so yeah, obviously once again, shout out to Jeff. Jeff is, my brother-in-law. That's my first brother-in-law. I guess probably we'll see. Yeah. If he's the only one, I don't know. We got years before Ebony actually starts looking at something like that, I guess. And so, Jeff is a fairly quiet guy, which kind of made me worry a little bit, because
You're quiet,
Celina,
too,
yeah, but Celina, not necessarily talkative, but I don't know, as far as how was the meshing for you guys upon meeting, because he's not that talkative. I don't know how you are when you're talking to boys. I don't know how that goes, but how was that going upon you guys meeting each other?
Yeah, so we actually met at a game night. And Jeff is actually like hilarious. So he was I don't know what we were talking about. He was asking me about my school. He was like, "Oh, where did you go to school in Maryland?" I was like, "Frostburg State." He was like,
Yeah.
"Nobody knows where that's at." And that's literally what he said. And then I walked off, and he thought I was being rude, but I was being funny too, like just walking away, like, okay. So that was our kind of like first interaction, and then he was my partner. What is that game when you can't say the words that are on there, but you're trying to describe it?
Charades?
Okay, that one. We were playing that, and he was the person looking over my shoulder, and I was supposed to be describing. I was supposed to be describing Mother Teresa, but my brain, and I think I have a bit of dyslexia for some reason. I was trying to describe Mona Lisa, and he was looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" So then I was like, "Oh shoot, my time is up," and I've been trying to describe Mona Lisa for my 30 seconds. And so anyway, so we were laughing about that. So there wasn't much interaction the first time we met. But after that, we ended up finding out we went to the same church. And then he saw me at church. I told him, I was like, "I've never seen you." He was like, "I've never seen you." And then next time we were at church, I actually saw him, and I thought he was talking to someone else, but it was like it wasn't. So I was like, "Well, why are you talking to me? That's your girl right there." But that wasn't the case. And then he What?
It's
Well,
not-
okay.
Why
How do
were
I
you
say
making that
this?
assumption? Why was that the assumption that you had at the time?
Women like to make assumptions.
No, my friend. No, she was my friend, and she talked
Okay.
about Jeff quite a bit.
Oh,
However, I think so. Jeff is very friendly. He has a lot of friends, and Jeff is very kind. And I think she was under the impression that something else was going on, but Jeff was not interested. But
right.
the stories that she was telling me, it was a lot of imagination going on.
Did she come to the wedding?
To say.
Was she at the wedding?
No, unfortunately.
Well,
No,
you took her
unfortunately,
man.
years.
Why would she be?
No.
Are you
No,
guys still
I did
friends?
not. No, but that has nothing to do with Jeff. That has nothing.
I'm just here to ask questions. I'm just here
No,
to ask
that
questions.
has nothing to do with this. This is not what I was. No.
No. We're just curious.
There were
Now,
there were a lot of
yeah.
there were a lot of things outside of Jeff that was just happening in that relationship. Like she's not gonna watch it. She borrowed my car and like ruined it when I was in Jamaica with my family.
Why you never let
like,
people
brought my
borrow
car
your
back.
expensive stuff, man?
And so that kind of put a damper in our relationship, and then
That's
some
definitely
other
understandable.
things. So
You think maybe she
it
did
had
that out of
nothing to do
spite?
with that.
You know, it's funny because Celina used to talk to me about her roommates, and I'm like, you don't have good roommates.
Okay.
They're this is not great. But now this context was missing though. I didn't know that this was a part of the story.
Now we know.
That she was a little delusional about the relationship between her and the. Now I don't know. Some things might come together. I don't know.
It makes sense. Not saying that people do those kind of things and that people are bad people, but some people are bad people.
Right.
Some people. Interesting.
No, it's just miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
And
So how was,
after that, Jeff slid in my DMs, and then that's how we.
Hey, and
there it is.
There it is. So, fellas, go to church and slide in the DMs. It might work for you. So, how have you guys been navigating that first year of marriage? I know you said you guys are 9 months in, so congratulations on that. But how has the first 9 months of it been? Yeah, I've never been married or
Okay.
or engaged, but
or in a stable relationship. No, it's fine.
But you always hear like that first year of marriage is typically quote unquote the hardest based on what people on the internet say. But it can be difficult.
Mhm.
So have you guys been through any ups and downs to that first year that you may have not expected? And then if so, how did you navigate through them?
Yes, absolutely. May not have expected. At first, on a ground level, when you move in together for the first time,
Mhm.
that in itself is a thing. And our first place together was a loft, so it didn't have any. The walls didn't go all the way to the ceiling, so we didn't have that much privacy. Or like, if I wanted to get away to like either one of us, if we wanted to get away to kind of huff and puff after a conflict or argument,
Right.
you
No,
know,
I
when you
understand.
close the door, there's still this big gap. So you can't even like call a friend and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe." So anyway, so that just moving in together, his little quirks, mine. Like, let me think of things that are funny to mention. Just the way that we do dishes. Jeff is very efficient in his dishes. I don't care that much. He's passionate about it. I will also say toilet stuff. Like, you guys like the
Leaving the
toilet seat
toilet
up.
up?
I prefer it down.
I'm
it's just
very
little
weird
things.
about that. I'm like 90%, like I always put it back down 90% of the time. And even it's just me using it. I don't know why. It's just like one of those weird habits that I have. It just makes sense for me to see it closed and not open all the time. That's just weird for me though. And there's nobody else using it. Nobody else using it. It's just a personal preference. weird though.
Interesting. Well, did you have sisters that you had to be
I did
aware
have
of?
sisters. Yeah, I had sisters, cousins, all that fun stuff. I grew up in basically like a
Gotcha.
daycare. My buddies used to call it the daycare because my mom had 5 kids, and then she raised my like 2 cousins for a while. So though we had them in the house, then all of our friends always came to our house. We didn't have social media or anything like that, so we actually played
Mm-hmm.
outside and did all the stuff that kids do or used to do. But yeah, and then they used to call it the daycare. And now one of my other friends is the daycare
Wow.
because he has 3 kids,
Mm.
and their family comes over, and like it's a house full of young kids. So he used to call it the daycare, and now he
He's
is living the
it's
daycare.
karma, huh? That's how it comes back
That's
around.
what I tell him all the time. Like, you literally have that while I'm just living in a single bachelor life forever.
Forever. Yeah, we'll see. So
Woo.
Celina,
Yeah, 3 kids.
going through obviously, these challenges. I want to talk a little bit about your college experience, right? So as you kind of went
Mm-hmm.
through over at Moody, obviously we had a few conversations about kind of the things that you were seeing as a counselor, and kind of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you now, obviously, I don't the patient whatever confidentiality without kind of get I want to kind of know as far as relationships go, because obviously you now have your own relationship, and then kind of working through those relationships, how did sitting with those
Mm-hmm.
people kind of help you in your own relationship?
Oh, great question. It's so funny. I think this is first a God thing and just a human thing as well. Usually I get people who remind me of Jeff and their partner reminds me of them. Um, or yeah, their partner reminds me of me.
Mhm.
So wanting to be like sometimes like emotionally detached, not communicating that well when you are emotionally detached or shut down, which is kind of that's my thing. So when Brandon was asking what kind of things happen, definitely shutting down Jeff's
Mhm.
anxiety. And so sometimes that just creates, just a lot of tension and your
Mhm.
nervous system is high and you don't know what to do because like, can I talk to you now or are you
Right.
gonna so I what has helped me is listening to someone else basically talk about what I'm doing to Jeff and how
Mhm.
hurt they are by it. I'm like, I need to go
Mhm.
apologize. Like this now it feels different. It feels different. And whatever, it is what it is. Of course, I will learn to listen to my husband the first time. I'm
Mhm.
learning that. But when you're listening to someone else talking about it, and you got kind of an outside perspective and they're asking you help with that thing they're struggling with. I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't know. I do the same thing your husband do. I'm doing the same thing that your wife is doing. I remember a client was telling me about, dang, what was it? It was just something about oh yeah, his wife bringing something up that he doesn't really want to talk about. Oh, that's what it was.
Mhm.
Complaining about work.
Mhm.
I used to be an avid complainer
Oh,
before
we're
I
losing
went
you a
there.
little bit.
Hold on, your
Jeff
Wi-Fi. I don't know.
We're losing you.
during the
We're
time
losing you a little bit.
he used to be I'm here, but I'm not here.
Hold on.
Where am
Yeah,
I? I'm here. Am I?
yeah. It's like cutting in and
Am I
out. Give him a
here?
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Where am I?
Nope.
Hold on.
Turn your Wi-Fi off.
Hear you, but you can't hear me.
We can hear you, but it's coming in and out. Are you're on a laptop or
I
a phone?
do.
That's that Chicago
Yeah,
Wi-Fi,
laptop.
guys.
It's too cold. Um.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. She's
There
back
you go.
in.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry. So what were you saying there about the story?
Yeah.
Complain about work.
Yeah, complaining about work. He was saying his wife was complaining about work, asking me how he can like bring that up, like, and I started to recall on what my response was to Jeff, And he was like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, my husband asked me that same thing. He was like, oh, like, how did you respond? I said, terribly. He said, that's exactly why I'm not bringing it up. So I said, but it matters, but don't take I'm doing as that's what your wife is going to do. And I do like a healthy amount of self-disclosure. And so the way I said it was very kind. And so I was like, I want to spend time talking matter. So just about these things, but the majority of our time I don't want to hear you complaining about. Who wants to hear that the whole time? So that's an example of how that kind of affects my relationship. Is it going out again?
It was
A
a
little bit.
little
Oh
bit.
my
I think I
gosh.
kind of get the gist
Let
here.
me
So
see.
basically,
Is it going
his wife was complaining about work, and he was kind of trying to find a nice way to tell her he don't really want to hear it all the time.
Basically, but I don't know. I feel like if you're in a marriage, that's kind of what you talk
I mean,
about, right?
sometimes every day,
Oh, because then it's
like consistently. Hold on,
then
wait,
there's just
she's
your
frozen.
wife's just being a Debbie Downer. I had a situation like that, but it was I don't know. I kind of appreciate when someone comes to me or when my significant other comes to me with their problems, and we lost her.
Hold on, I'm gonna shoot her a text.
That's Chicago Wi-Fi. I don't know what you guys got going on in Chicago. You guys got
It's a lot of wind,
it's too
man.
much wind,
You
too
wouldn't
much
understand.
snow, too much cold. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Shoot her a text and
Yeah, I just
see.
shot her a text.
But since we're already on the topic of that
Yeah.
situation, what do you like? Do you in a marriage? I think that that's kind of acceptable. But if it's like a daily
But
thing,
like my thing is would be like what number one, what complaining every day about the job that you have at some point you're like, all right, maybe we
So
need to get
quit,
you a new
right?
job, right? That's right. But obviously if you say so quit to your wife as she's trying to complain about
Okay.
her job.
But here's the thing too. So there's a problem with guys, right? Guys, we always go towards here's the problem, fix it, quit, find a new job, right?
Correct.
That's what guys do. But sometimes women just want to vent.
Which is fine. But what I'm saying is like if this is every day that you come
Mhm.
home, I know that this is going to be a bunch of complaints about your job. That's going to be a miserable house to live in.
I mean, I don't. But at this point, aren't they already married? Because doesn't she see people who are already married?
Yeah.
But you kind of already know, like,
if they're a complainer or not, right?
Exactly. Like they're not going to change just because they get married. Just like you were talking about before, with the guy that was playing video games. Right?
Yeah. I agree.
We can't expect them to really change.
Yeah,
you married that.
Exactly. So you know that, but that's kind of what the thing is. I'm like every day is. I understand something. It's just that's going to happen. That is what it is.
And it could be like quote unquote negative energy or whatever. I understand that too. But I was in a relationship like that, and I'm not gonna say the names, but there was one, and she would complain to me very often about like, oh, this person doing this person doing that, and then I would always have the same thing. It was always my immediate response was always a solution to the problem, not listening to the problem just to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then confide in their feelings and how they're feeling.
Right.
Because like we say it all the time, like women can be very emotional, right? So women can be very emotional. What's up? Welcome back.
Hey,
Celina.
there we go. All right.
Women can be very emotional. So sometimes you got to put yourself
and try to empathize with her as she's talking about what that problem is.
Instead of just being the guy, guys naturally are going to think of here's the problem. How are we going to solve the problem?
Which once again, I understand that. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, especially complaining every day, coming home every day to complain to your partner about it. I'm like, that's one of those things where it's like, I get it, but it's just one of those things where at some point you're going to get tired of hearing it. But also the other part of it is the nature of the complaints, because especially if the things that she complained about are her fault, what do you say to like, hey, you probably could have avoided that if you had just X, Y, and Z, and then now you guys are in a problem.
I think at that point you married the girl, right? So you have no choice almost but to empathize first and then offer a solution once you put yourself in her shoes.
Yeah.
Then offer a solution. But as guys, our first thing is you don't like your coworker, you don't like your job, you keep complaining about it to me every day. Why don't you just quit? Of course, but if we say
That's not the point.
it makes logical sense, right?
Right.
But it's not the point. So you have to empathize first before you give a
Yeah,
solution.
of course.
In my
Absolutely.
opinion. Can we hear you? Can
Okay.
we hear you now?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can still hear you.
Okay,
All
we
right.
can hear you now.
So we're just yapping
Yeah, I
back
heard
there.
that. Women are emotional, something, something.
Yeah.
He's talking
So
about
like in that situation, right? Is it an everyday thing?
Yeah.
Was he? Yeah. So he was saying every day,
every
but
day you go to work.
do you see married couples, like people who are already married? Was he married in that situation?
Yep.
All right. So he made that decision to
marry a
her,
woman
right?
who complains every day.
I'm sure she didn't just random out of the blue just start complaining, did she? Because usually women don't do that. Like they usually are a little bit like consistent with everything that they do.
Let me ask you
It's-
that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay.
What you were saying?
No, so I'm trying to understand. So Brandon, your point is he married her, so therefore, like basically take it on the chin, or
Well, he's
Not
or what?
necessarily, but like why?
he's saying that basically he knew that basically the woman that he was marrying was somebody who was going to be the person who's going to be coming to him and complaining about her job on a
Mhm.
daily basis.
Yeah.
So he married
Mhm.
her knowing that information. So to then marry
Uh-huh.
her knowing that information, then complain about it now, at that point, he's saying like, hey, I don't know if that's the time to be doing that. Is kind of what he's saying.
Should have been earlier on in the relationship. But in my opinion,
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
solution is to empathize first before you offer a solution. Because guys, we always want to give a solution. We're very solution oriented, especially when it comes to things pertaining to drama or work drama. It's like, all right, I don't care. Do this. Do this. This is going to fix your problem. All right, let's do that. But you
Mhm.
should empathize first, especially if you chose to marry this person. And you're
Mhm.
obviously in our day and age, men propose to women 98% of the time. Also made up statistic. So he proposed to her knowing like that's what she did, right? So I would imagine that she has complained about whatever she's complaining about, whether it be work, friends, whatever it is. Like she's complained about it before,
Mhm.
but now he's married and now
Mhm.
he's like, oh, how do I bring this up to her now? It's like, oh, you probably should have brought it up a long time ago. But another problem with guys is we don't like
Mhm.
confrontation. So we are going to go confide in a therapist to get information on how we should handle things because sometimes we don't know how to handle things that become very emotional and not logical.
Mm,
What would you say?
Gotcha.
Oh, what would you say is kind of the biggest issue that you see between couples that you kind of were assisting in mitigating and kind of the advice that you were giving back? Was there something that was more common than other things, or how did that work?
Yeah, communication. Something that John Gottman. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but something called the Four Horsemen of Communication that basically will kill your relationship if it
Mhm.
continues. So, like criticism,
Mhm.
stonewalling. Um, what are the other two? Criticism, stonewalling, holding your partner in contempt, and then also I think shutting down. I think are
Mhm.
the four. I might be
So
getting them mixed up there,
stonewalling
but
is just like not talking to him or communicating with him because you don't want to feel bad or something.
well, not because you don't want to feel bad. You don't want to express yourself emotionally, or you don't feel safe to
Mm-hmm.
express yourself emotionally. And so you shut down because you're like, it's not worth it. You don't feel like doing it, the emotional capacity to do it,
Yeah,
um,
I know
all of those things.
a lot of women that do that.
That stonewall you? Well, Brandon's an emotional guy, so he seems to like women who aren't very emotionally in depth.
God.
I
Whereas
guess that's
I'm
what
the
I do, huh?
opposite. And it seems like
Oh,
I always end up with somebody who is very in touch with their emotions. And now, it's something that I'm navigating through.
Right. So what
yeah.
advice did you give that guy in that situation? What was your advice to him?
Well, it's just, and let me. I got the Four Horsemen
Okay.
wrong. The last one is
Yeah.
the last one is defensiveness. So it's contempt,
Mm,
criticism, stonewalling, defensiveness. So if
Mhm.
those things are in your relationship perpetually, odds are, from what the Gottmans have researched, you all will get a divorce. Unfortunately.
mm,
Um, what advice? I mean, I'm not a big advice giver with my therapy. Is more experiential. Like what were his needs that he felt like weren't getting met,
Right.
and he didn't feel like he had space to share. his stuff, but he also doesn't have a lot to complain about. So he has to find
something
how
to
to connect with not to complain about, but he needs
Right.
to find it's not connecting to him
right.
like that
Why
she
she's
complained. Like
complaining about something so small. Yeah. But it goes back to the same thing. It's like
well,
your problems might be big to you, but those same problems aren't big to me, and vice versa. I might have a problem that I think is big for me, but you might think it's a small
sure,
problem.
sure. But thinking of like what can connect me to my partner rather than disconnect. And complaining for him was making him want to disconnect. So we
Correct.
were
Mhm.
looking for ways like how can you initiate connection with her in the way that you want it, while
Hmm.
also being able to communicate that it's not connecting for you to like hear these things all the time. And she's a teacher. I mean, our mom's a teacher. It's wild stuff every day.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It is
and,
something every
and he has a desk job, so this is a little simple
Hmm.
type. I don't know, whatever desk job you
whatever
do.
they do, whatever they do there.
Whatever they do at their desk job. They don't deal with a lot of people. She's got to deal with children. So yeah, no, that's definitely
Yeah,
understandable.
Now, did you have
yeah.
like so as far as age ranges with these people, right? I think you've counseled younger and older people and
Mhm.
couples. Yeah. What's the
Yep.
difference in problems that you see between people, let's say around our age,
Mhm.
dealing with versus somebody, 20, 30 years down the road?
Um, Funny enough, it's all about the same. So emotional maturity does not have an age to it,
Mm,
unfortunately.
Oh, we
And
say that all the time. Our favorite line. Well, I'm
Brandon's.
I,
bringing him to. I'm bringing Cleon into this because we do say this all the time. Everybody gets older, but not everybody grows up.
exactly. Yep. So it's mostly the same things. They just take on different forms and different levels of responsibility because, if
Hmm.
you're 60 something, then you have adult children and you might be enabling adult children, but getting upset at their behavior that you are enabling. And that's a form of emotional immaturity, like wanting to please your children for the emotional stability of the relationship, which that
Right.
like if you on your end are struggling at looking at your kid and allowing your kid to have autonomy in their life, and that's emotional distressing to you that you keep saving them from themselves, then
Mhm.
this relationship is not working. And then for our age range, lashing out, cussing people out, fighting sometimes,
Hmm.
emotional regulation. So it's all about the same. I would say emotions are a big thing and probably one of my favorite things to work with.
Mm.
Noticing and just being aware of like your thoughts and your emotions and your behavior. Sometimes I think we think about our behavior after the fact, and that's not helpful. But having a little guardrail and boundary inside of you, and I tell people all the time, out of like a joke, and I did this when I had a group of teens that I was working with for some time. And I was like, my number one job is to keep you all out of jail, and the people that are in jail, I assume, have not been emotionally regulated throughout their lives, and it took one thing to set them over the edge,
Mhm.
and they are in jail. Some for the
Typically.
rest of their lives. Yeah, exactly. It's just one moment for some of them. For some, a whole bunch of moments. But at the end of
Hmm.
the day, if we all had some skills in emotional regulation, people would not be in jail the way they are. And
Mhm.
Nah,
trauma is a big
100%.
trauma is a
100%.
big part of that, of course, and and things like that. So I never bypass that. And trauma is not your fault at all if it happened to you, but as an adult, it's your responsibility to work through
Hmm.
that so that you can now live a life that um, is
Mhm.
stable, relationally healthy, emotionally healthy. So
Hmm.
really all
Do
the
you
same.
mostly counsel couples, or is it all like? Is it mostly like in the relationship therapy, or all of it?
um i I mostly work with individuals with trauma. I work with a handful of couples. I don't like a lot of couples on my caseload because it is a lot
Is it? Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. It is a
So
lot.
the people who are like licensed marriage and family therapists, kudos to them for like
Right.
only having couples on their caseload because I would be extremely tired if I had that. So mostly
That's all we talk
individuals.
about. That's all we talk about every week. So we've researched and heard and been through our own story. So Those are always the
Hmm.
funnest to go through and talk about.
They really are, honestly. That's one of my favorite things as relational issues. One of my favorite things to work through. Because
It's always
if
going to
you
be
really,
there,
it's
especially when you're
always
talking about emotional intelligence, because we say this very often too. Is like people get into relationships with people that are not as emotional intelligent as they are, and then that's like causes issues down the road. But you ignore those red flags early on because you have so much chemistry or there's a spark and you love the
oh yeah,
person, and then
man.
10 years
I wish I could tell y'all. I wish I
Tell
could
us. No,
tell
you
y'all.
can.
you can
You
tell us
I
no,
can.
can't.
you
I
could just
It's too specific. I
you
cannot.
could
I would
just
lose my
you could
life.
just use different names. You could just use different names, but
No, we would never use names. No, but there
no, we
is
never
a
use names. Yeah.
rose colored glasses on in the beginning, and for being in my own relationship, and I guess I've been a therapist for about 5 years now. There's just
Mhm.
certain things that you notice early on, more early than your clients most of the time, or more early than some
Mhm.
Hmm.
people based on where they are emotionally. And some things like guys. Oh, there was this new term I learned, but I forgot what it's called. But it could be guys or girls talking about finances a lot in the beginning.
Mm.
Um,
It's a new
and
trend
like
now on social media.
yeah,
Mhm.
pulling up to the wherever store and
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
in my head, and they're so like what they're talking about, like, girl, he did this, and I'm just like, girl,
Love
you
bombing.
could
Is that what the term was? Okay.
love. No, that's not the term. It was another term where women end up getting in this repeated cycle of
Mhm.
falling in love quickly with
Mm.
people who have like a lot of red flags. But
Ah.
it's like a cycle. I forgot what it was
Mhm.
called. I
That's
sent
just
it to
called
someone.
Tampa. We just call that Tampa.
Okay, it's called Tampa, but I let me see. I can look it up real
Yeah, I
quick.
mean that makes
But
sense because people like to fall in love with sparks.
yeah, we love Sparks, and I get it. It's really fun in the beginning.
Mhm.
I think it's just wise to take your time in learning someone before we start
Mhm.
The whole
talking
marriage
about
thing, right? Yeah. Me
marriage,
there's
moving in,
Yeah.
being
yeah. I
intimate, all of that.
I agree, and I preach that. I get some hate on TikTok. I don't know what it is. I mean, actually, I do know what it is. It's because there's not many guys that are willing to talk about how big of a problem we are to relationships. So we
Mm-hmm,
just said, hey, there's some guys that, we just want to go out and have sex with women. There's a lot of them out there. I used to be one of them
mm-hmm,
and do it very often. So we just let them know, like, hey, this is what it is. So you have to be aware that they're going to try to wow you into liking them so that way they can get what they want. Does it, if even if there's a spark, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good person for you. So you have to be aware of that, and you have to take, I guess they were saying, I was saying that they had to take the responsibility, which I guess they kind of do. But at the end of the day, like, you're the one getting into that relationship too. So you do have to take the responsibility. We're just letting you know from a man's perspective how we think in those kind of situations. So I
mm-hmm.
don't know if that was related, but I know we were talking about that on
Well,
TikTok.
yeah, yeah, I think that because this culture right now, obviously as young as it is, like you talk about, everybody kind of wants all that stuff in the beginning. And one of the things that I talk to a lot of people about is that a lot of people want middle of the relationship benefits at the very beginning,
Mhm.
so that pulling up to whatever store to get them this, this, and this, and showering them with a bunch of love and gifts and things like that.
Yeah.
There's
Mm-hmm.
now this group of ladies on social media who feel like if they're not getting that they're settling for less.
Mhm.
And because
Mm-hmm.
everybody obviously doesn't want to be treated less than what they feel like they're worth, so now that's something that among certain people who are a little bit more impressionable, determining that as the standard now,
Mhm.
in which I've
Mm-hmm.
always been like, obviously not just from, because financially it doesn't make sense for me as a man to go and do something like that. I'm not out there fighting for myself, but I'm like,
Mhm.
in general, if anybody is kind of starting something like that, you have to kind of question, because I'm like, for people who I've just met versus people who I've known for years, there's a large difference in the things that I would do for those people, because we just
Mm-hmm.
haven't gotten there yet. So
Not
somebody's
me.
who's empty. So yeah, I know, right? So somebody's who's emptying out the bank account, it doesn't seem like they have any sort of sense on what they are relationally to people. And that
Yes.
shows me that whatever that thing that they're doing is, it doesn't really mean that much to them. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it meant much to them, then they would save it for things that meant a lot. And if I just met you yesterday and I go and spend $1,000 on you today, that shows money doesn't mean that much to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm.
is what it is. So me spending this money, you doesn't, it means a lot more to you than it does to me. And I know that. So
Mm-hmm.
now that's the thing that they're using to kind of get to the place that they want. So it's a lot going on out here in the dating world. It's kind of all I wanted to get at with that.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot on both sides, and most of the time, we can put a lot of things before outpace the emotional readiness. But like this, sometimes the sexual connection outpaces the emotional readiness for that. The
Yeah.
gift giving outpaces the emotional readiness for that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we just keep trying to outpace the deep work of connecting to someone, probably because a lot of attachment issues from our childhood, and we're trying to
Yep.
find out how to connect to someone. And so sometimes it is, let me buy them gifts, then they will like me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
That's my
love
problem
bomb
sometimes.
them, then they will like me. And then for somebody who really wants to be connected to someone, they're buying
Mm-hmm.
me gifts, they really like me.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
love
Yeah.
bombing. So it's just a whole bunch of, we're not, a whole bunch of attachment issues where we're not secure within ourselves first, and that
Mhm.
takes a lot of work and time and attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we really wanted to do the work before getting a relationship, we would
Mm-hmm.
have way less stories
Mhm.
of relationship
Yeah.
issues.
There would be,
It
yeah.
wouldn't be as fun though.
And
Yeah.
I mean, and that is the problem. That is the problem. There's actually a book called "Do the Work." I think. Have you ever heard of the holistic psychologist?
I have not.
I don't know her real name, but I'll find the book. It's a good book, but it talks about like your childhood upbringing and then like how you bring that into relationships and stuff. For me,
Mm-hmm.
why I've like slowed down on like dating and sleeping with women is because I realized like that was a big problem that I had in relationships because I am an emotional person, right? Um,
Yes.
so I am an emotional person, and if I like how you look and I like how you act and I like what goes on behind the closed doors, then I like you. You know what I'm saying? And that was my problem is I was getting into these relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The physical aspect of it was going faster than how the relationship should have went, just like you were saying. So it took me a lot of failed relationships, learning and growing, to realize that, it probably took 28, 29, maybe 32 years
Okay, I
of
have
my
a question.
life.
Yes.
I have a question for both of you. Do
Mhm.
Mhm.
you do you know the difference, is the first part of the question, versus when did you learn how to tell the difference between you like a woman, you're lusting over a woman, or you're lonely?
Yes.
Ooh, ooh,
Yes.
ooh.
I
Coming from my house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yo.
yeah, 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 yeah. Let's get into that. I like that.
You want to answer that first?
Yeah,
Or?
I'll go first on this. So the difference between me liking a woman versus me being lonely versus me lusting after her.
And I
Yes.
think before you jump into that, I
Mhm.
think those are great questions that
Amazing
every
questions.
man and woman should probably ask themselves before they go on a second date.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. Absolutely. So for me, in my journey here of dating, one of the things that I learned, and was a self-realization thing for
Mm-hmm.
me, because I never really drank a lot. I didn't do any sort of smoking. I didn't really have any vices that I knew of that I went to when I was stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm
Mm.
looking at all the people around me one day. I had a moment of pride, I remember. And I'm like, all these people going to this and knowing that. I was like, I don't need none of that. And then for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit or what. It's like, actually, hold on, before you get too high on your horse, let's
Hold
talk
on.
about what you do when you do get upset or when you do get stressed out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
well, what do I do? And I realized that my thing was I would just go and I start sending text messages or I would start calling a bunch of girls.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yep.
was what my thing was.
Get attention.
Right, exactly. And I enjoyed, just talking as much as I could
Mm-hmm.
without any real meaning behind it, selling a dream or two, for the night was
Mm-hmm.
over, just to make sure that it sounded good. And then once I had that realization, I realized, okay, so obviously I know I don't have any interest in it, because by the time the sun is up in the morning, I don't care about anything that happened the night before.
Right.
So I know that basically that number one was me trying to get out of whatever headspace that I was in at the time. I realized that's also was a part of me being lonely, because I didn't have partners at that time. So that's when I realized, okay, so that's maybe me doing things in a lonely and in a kind of convoluted headspace. Obviously, the difference between lusting and liking for me kind of came with, do I enjoy talking to this person about things that have nothing to do with me? Is this
Mhm.
somebody that I would want to go out in daylight with? You know, yeah, a lot of times right now, Celina, dating right now is a lot of people meet, they sleep together, and decide if they want to do daytime activities.
Yeah.
After that's usually how the cycle is working at this point. And so, when I was meeting girls, I had to obviously figure out, is this past the point of, is this somebody that I want to go out, be seen? Is this somebody that I've introduced to my family? Is this, as I obviously start getting later, my grades start to come in, I'm like, all right, maybe we got to tighten up a little bit. We got to start really figuring out what we're going to do here. So is this somebody that I would be proud to go and take back home? And things like that. Is this somebody that I could see starting a family with, raising my children, somebody I can see myself confiding in?
Mhm.
Do I like this person, or is this something that's just for now? So I had to really sit down with myself
Mhm.
during a certain time. It was a very lonely and quiet time
Mhm.
for me, but very necessary, because it was like after a string of, how it go. We go through this string of
Yeah.
drama, a
Yeah.
bunch of nonsense. Celina, I was going through it out here. I won't tell you
Yeah.
what was happening,
In
but
Florida,
I'll
huh,
tell you.
huh,
in Florida,
yeah,
yeah,
here in Florida.
I know a little bit. I know a
You
little
might
Oh.
know. All right, hold on. Anyway,
I do. I got a phone call or two because you was really stressed. So that's
oh
how I
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. That don't
Yeah.
happen very often. I've never got one of those phone calls.
Yeah, I was in some stuff, and after a few strings of events, really had to sit down with myself. It's like, we need to figure this out
Mhm.
now, and it obviously turned into one of those things, to which, because we also do these things where we get involved with girls, and then they want a relationship, and then I say that I'm not ready. Now, a lot of people, I don't like what social media has turned "I'm not ready" into, because they think that that means you're not ready because you don't want the person that's beside you. When I told people I wasn't ready for something, it was because I really understand there's some things that I really need to work out.
Mhm.
Because right now I'm still going and talking to a bunch of girls when I'm having hard times. If I don't fix that before I get into a relationship, we're not going to work. I still
100%.
have issues really talking to and getting deep with a partner. If I don't fix that now before we get into this, like, we're gonna go through some growing pains, and then you're gonna be mad at me because I told you I wasn't ready. We got into this when I wasn't ready, and now I'm having to get ready. I gotta get ready. I've got to warm up during the game,
Mhm.
and now you mad because I'm not loose yet. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So those were things that I really, really had to figure out for myself. So that's my answer to that question.
Okay,
I need the question
Brandon.
repeated. I need it repeated one more time. Lust,
What's
loneliness,
the
and
difference? Yeah, liking a woman, lusting over a woman, and then lonely.
yeah, I guess I've had to learn the the difference the hard way, because
Okay.
early on it was all lust, and you start to lust over somebody, and then you do the deed and stuff, then you think they're attractive, you like how they act, you like being with them, you do want to bring them in daylight, and then now it's all of a sudden you quote unquote love them, right? So that was my problem early on, all throughout my 20s, I would say. Big problem. And it took a lot of realization from, speaking to other people. My barber, who also used to be a pastor, my pastor, and, it just felt like they knew me better than I knew myself. Because just how
Mhm.
you say, like, when you're talking in relationships, like, nothing's really new, right? Everything kind of happens the same in relationships, just in a different way. Um, so now, I mean, I haven't been on a date since like the beginning of the year. So for me, and then I was talking to somebody, and I had to determine the factor of if I was lusting over her, if I really liked her. But I never got those urges to like want to have sex or do anything sexual with her. So at that point, I knew I liked her. And now, where I'm at now, single, I have to have that conversation with myself. It's like, yeah, I would sleep with her, but I'm not going to. So now what else? What else is there to offer? Like, is it somebody that maybe is it an easy? Is it going to be easy to be like to go on a date with them? Are they giving a lot of pushback? Like I look at things like that now. I'm like, all right, if they're giving pushback now, like, yes or no, no, maybe is a no to me in my book. Then I just move on nowadays because I'm like, that just, if you don't know, then I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. I know if I tried, I could sleep with them, but it's not like, that's not the path that I want to keep putting myself on, because obviously, as you can tell, 32 years old and still single, right? That hasn't worked in the past. So insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So I'm not going to keep sleeping with great looking women.
What is this subtle flexing that you're doing here on this podcast right now? Well, I'm not gonna go sleep with these gorgeous
I'm
women.
saying it. I'm thinking like, man, that kind of sounds stupid. Maybe I should go do that.
We're still praying for him, Celina.
So I'm not gonna go try to sleep
okay.
around when I know that that's not going to give me the outcome that I want, which is, a marriage, family, kids, all that. So then I go to the problem of, when do you realize it's just loneliness? Loneliness is like when you need that attention, right? Cleo was talking about, like, hey, when he was feeling stressed or whatever, he'd just go reach out to a lot of people. I kind of do the same thing when I'm lonely. I start to text a little bit, but I do this. I don't let it really go anywhere. It's like, I'll just.
And that's the problem.
It is. But, I mean, it's like, I'll just entertain conversations and stuff. And then that, it kind of just fizzles out then. So just when I'm lonely, or when I feel like I'm lonely, that's what I do. I don't do that every time. But if I'm like, all right, I just need a little bit of conversation or communication.
Little
dopamine hit. That's what I do. But it's better than the dopamine hits that I was doing when I was crazy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Progression, not perfection, baby.
Exactly.
Love
I'm still a work in progress. But the thing is, I can decipher between the three now. I can tell if it's just going to be, am I just lusting over this person, or is it something that I really want to pursue and maybe go on a date with? Like, how are they around other people and things of that nature? So that's how, like, I kind of decipher the three. But it also helps when you don't sleep with them. If you start to just sleep with them, that was my problem. Like, hey, this girl is super attractive. She's really nice. I like her. I could see myself dating her. Boom, we hang out. Cool, whatever. We end up sleeping together. Now you already have that very emotional connection, especially if it was good. And then me, I'm lost at that point. Then I'm like, we're together. We're together. And then that's not a great premise of how you start a meaningful and lasting relationship. Can they work that way?
Maybe,
but do they usually not work that way? Yes. So that's what I learned through all my failed relationships.
Yeah, sounds like it was learned. I'm just trying to figure out how can the world / church, well, the world can't really rely on them, but like, how can the church let men know earlier before having to stumble through the process like this, what the difference of the three are and how to go about it?
I think it just goes on putting in the word.
But that's the problem though, right? Because the church doesn't tell you about sex besides don't do it. There's like this conversation that we just had right now is way more detailed than anything that it's typically being discussed in church. Right. So they say, hey, don't have sex. Sex is bad. It's meant between a husband and a wife, or after in the covenant of marriage. Okay. But basically, when you're able to really run down like, how do we get that in? I mean, obviously we'd have to start in some sort of youth ministry. It would have to start maybe with I guess once the kids start getting past puberty, so middle school to high school age kids, kind of just having that conversation, obviously with tact and with sensitivity to kind of where they are at that certain age, but just kind of letting them understand how these things do control your emotions. And obviously, lust will lead you down some places you wouldn't go without a gun, and you went there because you were excited. So
but to answer that question too, biblically, is getting into the Word of God. The closer you get to God, the less your flesh has control over you. That's why in the Bible it says when you fast. When you fast, what do we do when we're bored? We like I like to eat, right? I like to eat sweets. I like to eat stuff that's bad for me. But if you can control your flesh urges, which lust is one of those, and you get closer to God, it does make it easier for you to decipher between the three as well. So if somebody is really struggling with that, how often are you reading your Bible? Are you reading it every day? How often are you praying? Like the closer you can get to God, the easier it is to stay away from those things, or at least know that they're bad for you. It's still going to be hard because I struggle with it every week, every day. I'm like, hey, should I go back? It's like I give the I give the analogy of like it's a dog trapped in a cage with some regular dog food, and someone's outside the cage with a raw steak just dangling outside. That's how it is whenever I go to work.
Who's at work?
We work at the nightclub
I
together.
work at a club.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So-
can imagine.
So it's a constant battle, but it's like for me, what I realize is like I go through phases too, because the closer you try and get to God, the harder it feels like, the harder the devil tries your life to get you further back and back on the path you've been on. And that's like one of the things that I know I still struggle with mentally, is like that lust things. Like, all right, but I don't want to be using people in either. So it's like, why am I going to bring this person in my life just to use them? Like, let's just save everybody some time and trouble and not do that. So
yeah, and I think the other part about after that, right? Because like you talk about getting to the word makes it a little bit easier to kind of fight that, but obviously we're still people, and so they're gonna rise up, right? And so the tools on how to deal with it when it does happen, whatever those may be, kind of running down those things to help out. And then my mom said you should start talking about, I guess, elementary school, because they see and know more than what you think. I said middle to high school. I guess you got to start in elementary. Yeah, kids were a little bit crazy back then. Actually, I think about it.
I mean, crazy. I remember we were pretty crazy in elementary school too. So yeah,
me.
Yeah, kids are always exposed way earlier to things than they should.
Yeah, I blame the parents.
But then you have emotionally unintelligent parents having kids.
Babies having babies. Right. That's what Judge Lynn Lake says, man. Yeah. Babies having babies.
So it's like, they are just,
they're just listening to all this stuff that their parents are saying around them. They're having the same conversations with their friends that they normally would.
Just a byproduct of their environment. And then they're sharing that information with their other friends.
Yeah.
And then that's like how they grow up thinking that that's what they're supposed to do. That's why the male culture is guys who have sex with multiple good-looking women. They have money, they have cars, then that means that they made it or they're successful. It's like, no,
because that's what they were told growing up by the men around them.
That's what happens. The locker room talk, all that stuff growing up. That's what we're told. So that's what we think when we get older, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go have sex with this girl, and now I'm going to be accepted for my friend group because I had sex with the hottest girl out of our friend group. So now I'm the coolest one in my friend group.
Got to break the cycle.
Yeah, maybe not behaving out of wanting people to envy you is also a thing.
It's a very immature place to be.
Yes, I've been noticing outside of relationships. I saw a commercial the other day for a rental car company that said, "Make your boss's boss envy you."
And then we're getting ads of stuff like that, especially in the social media age, right? Everything's a comparison. So you always you want to think you're doing better than the next person, but it's like everybody's running their own race. I know young kids in their young 20s who are millionaires with multiple real estate properties and stuff. If I woke up and compare myself to that person every single day, who is 8 years younger than me, 7 years younger than me, I would hate my life. It's like, man, hey, he looks like he's got it all. He's a Christian. He's wealthy. He's rich. He does this. And I'm like, if I woke up comparing myself to that every single day, I would hate myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Understanding why you're doing things is super, super important.
Very important.
All right. So to wrap things up, any other questions you got, Mr. Deal?
Well, I have one question, then I have something that I want to say. So, Celina, for you as a question, right? Because you talked about earlier about kind of the beginning of the relationship and people kind of overdoing it on one side, trying to present a lot and that person accepting a lot, and everybody feels like they're in a good place with that. That leads me to a question that we asked on our TikTok. Would you do coffee as a first date?
Would I personally?
Mm-hmm.
I probably would. I would.
Probably. was
Yeah.
was was
Well,
probably.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
Okay, talk to me.
Jeff and I are a pre-COVID starter relationship. I think things have drastically changed post-COVID.
Okay.
So I think pre-COVID, absolutely, if he wanted to go get coffee, I would do that. Post-COVID, I think things have changed. I don't know what exactly has changed, except for like the intensity of things, or like how much weight is on things. But
Yeah.
I would. Why? You all wouldn't? Is that like
Well,
unacceptable?
no.
Oh no, I agree. I'm all for a coffee on the first date if you don't know the person.
We were getting torn to pieces on social media because they said that coffee is a low effort first date. No woman should ever accept it because it sets a precedence for the type of partner that they're going to be. So they're going to be a bare minimum and low effort partner later because they didn't take the time to plan out and be thoughtful on a first date. And so I was like, that's a lot. Because I just thought it was an environment for us to be able to talk and decide if we should be spending money on each other after that. But that's what we were being told by one side, but of the ladies on TikTok. Obviously, there's other sides where like, yeah, that what are you talking about? That makes complete sense to do coffee on the first day. But that's why I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm wondering. There's a lot into that comment, which we can't get to, but it definitely feels like there's too much weighing on a first date. Let's be real. That is all it is. Is
See,
the
if you want to
first
go
time
on the
that
second one, that's what it's for.
that's literally what it's a first date. I think if their effort throughout the dating phase is subpar, if it's always and only coffee dates, that's one thing.
Right.
But it is a first date. Like walking in the park should be acceptable. So that's what I'm saying. Post COVID, something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. And people ask, like, oh, when did you meet him? I was like, oh, like 2019. They're like, oh, you just barely made it across whatever.
Barely made
whatever
it.
whatever threshold that you stepped into when we were in the shutdown.
Yeah.
I guess Jeff and I barely made it.
Yeah, people had too much time to be on their phones to think about, I guess, things like that. And then they just came out with a whole new mindset that they just accepted without, I don't know, realization. But I was just curious about that, just to kind of get another, get another perspective on something like that.
Sorry to that, whoever left that comment. Sorry to them. And I hope they figure that
it was a bunch of them. I can show you we got probably like 150 comments on those videos.
Did it? Oh, so it went viral?
We had a decent amount. I think it was like probably like 2,000-3,000 views on that video and like over 100
what did the post say?
Is coffee acceptable as a first date?
Oh.
That was it. That was just a question. And they were snapping on us. They were letting us know.
It's TikTok, though. Everyone has
It's TikTok. Yeah, people are crazy on there.
Everyone got an opinion on
it. What about when you're married and you go out for coffee?
I think that's also fine.
Okay, yeah, because I'm wondering, like,
it's not every day, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I think we are looking for, we kind of, and I don't want to say this, but we kind of are living in a state of like manic behavior where everything has to be exciting, everything has to be big, or else whatever. But life is really about the mundane. Unfortunately, brushing your teeth is not exciting, but you have to do it. It is, and I think the same thing.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
It's the same thing relationally. It's about the connecting point. It's not really about the gestures. Gestures are fine. My husband is not a showy guy. I mean, our proposal was the most showiness I've ever gotten from him, and I think that's okay. I think the proposal should be like the whoa, okay, you really do love me, huh? So anyway, yeah, send me that post, CJ. I need to
Yeah, I'll shoot it over to you.
Yes, CJ.
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, we are in this constant state. People just want to be wowed all the time, especially I guess on those initial things. And people, like we talk about, people want that high dopamine at the front of it, that spark that we were talking about. Because if they don't feel that spark, and I'm like, guys, consistently, that's not what your relationship is going to be. And if you're gonna build it off of the highest moment, you're going to spend every day after that chasing what that is, and you're going to hate it there later. I promise you that you will. But obviously, I haven't succeeded in a relationship yet, so I don't know quite what I'm talking about, but I think I'm on to something on that. But thank you for answering that. Now, with that being said, like I said, I had one question. I wanted to say something. First of all, thank you for joining us today here, Mrs. Celina Knight. Mrs. Knight. Appreciate you for being here. I tell people when I do talk about you, you're one of my favorite stories to tell. I know I don't tell you often, so I want to tell you here on this very public platform that I do appreciate kind of everything that you've done as far as number one, you were able to kind of go to school, study what you wanted, get something in your field, and then be successful there. You went and did, created, started a family here with you getting married and everything like that. And you do a lot of things that people set out to do, and I'm a big fan of that. I tried, hasn't gotten there yet, but we're all writing our own stories.
32, still don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
So I just wanted to tell you here that I'm very proud of you. I love you, and obviously it's lovely to see how you're growing and progressing in your own life. I look at you as somebody for me to kind of be able to look up to in a sense, not physically, because she is shorter than me. Don't ever, let's not, just want to make sure we're on the same page of that.
And older by 5 minutes.
Don't my bad, ruin the moment. She's older by 15 minutes, not 5.
15.
But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that here that I appreciate you and everything that you're doing.
And thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any other words of wisdom you want to leave with the people, Miss Celina?
No, y'all have to have me back again so we can talk more about relationships.
Yeah,
but
100%. I agree. We got some better Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on in Chicago.
Maybe come out to Florida and visit us. We can have you here.
Yeah, in person.
I mean, we are going to California at some point. Is that near the same area?
No, I'm not doing this with you. We're not. Good Lord.
Geographically, they're not. No, stop.
She didn't study
Southeast West Coast.
She didn't study
so I was
geography in
thinking
college.
climate.
Okay.
Stop.
Oh, climate, yeah.
Brandon? Yeah. I was thinking climate, and then my brain was what. It's not the same path.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to just come out to Florida so that the Wi-Fi doesn't.
Yeah.
I have no words of wisdom, but just love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself, and then your life will be ordered just rightly. Because we are just missing the greatest commandments in the Bible, and that's part of our downfall here. So that's all I got to say.
Amen.
I agree. Amen and amen. So thank you so much for being here with us, and love you guys. I think it's episode 57,
something like that.
So love you guys. I appreciate you being here, and thank you again, Celina, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.